Hey guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. For today's video, we're going to be providing an update on a small cap Canadian penny stock. They operate in the infused cannabis beverage space. Now, we introduced this company a couple of weeks back on the channel. Since then, I have initiated a position. The company name is MLCL Holdings, and they've had a couple big pieces of news come out over the last few weeks that I wanted to address in today's video. Now, before we get into it today, you guys, please take a second, hit the like button. It really helps out in a big way. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of MLCL, if you're currently holding any shares, and how you think they stack up to some of their competition, like Hexo and the Valens company that we've talked about on the channel previously. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be providing an update on a company by the name of MLCL Holdings. Now, we initially covered MLCL on the channel a couple of weeks ago. Since then, they've had three big pieces of news that I wanted to cover in today's update, specifically in relation to their in-house brands, which I wanted to spend a little bit more time on in today's video, and some big distribution news that just came out in the province of British Columbia. So before we get into it today here, you guys, I wanted to take a quick look at the chart. So I actually have initiated a position in MLCL since our last video, and I actually picked up 15,000 shares at an average price of 7 cents Canadian. Now, on a fully diluted basis, MLCL has about 140 million shares outstanding. So based on last Friday's close, December 3rd, at 7.5 cents Canadian, I'm getting a market cap on this company of 9.8 million Canadian. So this truly is a micro cap stock. And again, they operate in the cannabis space, specifically infused beverages. So they've got multiple different revenue streams. We talked about this in our last video. Co-packing, where they're actually doing the bottling or canning for third party or other companies. They've also got an impressive list of in-house brands that they're actually looking to expand. And that's really where I wanted to focus the attention on in today's update video. Now, the other thing I wanted to specifically call out here, it's been a very difficult couple months if your portfolio is heavy into small cap or micro cap stocks, specifically in the cannabis space. But in terms of actual buying opportunities here, there really have been a lot of companies in this industry that have been beaten up, I think guilty by association, and really not representative of their underlying financials or future growth prospects. And I think MLCL or MLCL is a prime example of that. So if you look back to the middle of summer there, the June kind of time frame, this was a company that was trading in the 11-12 cent range. And we've seen it pull back all the way to 5, 6, 7 cents here in the last couple of weeks. So it's down anywhere from 30 to 40%. And if you have been sitting on the sidelines here, or the last video we did piqued your interest in MLCL, I definitely think this is a good buying opportunity if you're looking for exposure into this sector or industry. And as you can see here, it does look like we've hit bottom, and MLCL has now reversed and it's on its way up. Again, closed out last week at 7.5 cents. So it'll be interesting to see how MLCL trades this week based on the big news that we're going to cover next up in the video. Now, before we get into that news, because some of you maybe missed that last video, I did want to give a quick high-level summary of what it is MLCL is about as a company. So the introduction here from the investor presentation: an industry-leading owner-operator of cannabis infrastructure and brands. So again, specifically focused on cannabis-infused beverages. Who we are: MLCL is an industry-leading Canadian cannabis company focused on developing and manufacturing a diversified range of cannabis-infused beverages for both in-house, again, that's going to be the focus of today's video, and white label clients, which we touched on in our last presentation. And the other thing I wanted to quickly mention here is just the timeline or the developments that we've seen at MLCL over the last couple of quarters. This is a very new company, you guys, as the market cap would imply. We've talked about some of the big players in this space being Hexo and the Valens company on the channel in recent months, but it is important to consider how far this company's come really in the last 6-7 quarters. So if we look back to 2019 Q4, this is when they actually completed construction of their facility. Again, this is a 15,000 square foot facility with huge expansion potential on site. It's got an annual capacity of 24 million cans, so huge output or huge production capacity, and they're starting to bring on more and more in-house brands that they're going to bottle or can at this location. Now, Q1 of 2020, they received their initial processing license, so that's obviously key for this type of player. 2020 Q3, they went public on the CSE as MLCL, so that's the ticker we're talking about in today's video. 2020 Q4, they secured their first group of craft beverages to launch. And if you fast forward to this year, so 2021 Q1, they launched their portfolio in Ontario. We're going to talk about some expansion in BC towards the end of today's video. Q2 of this year, they rolled out on a national scale their portfolio of brands. They also launched their sales and marketing team. And looking forward into 2022, they're really going to be looking to scale production at this facility, so expanding capacity to handle additional volume, and then pushing new product formats or new SKUs into the market, which again, we're going to touch on in today's video. So a ton of activity here at MLCL, and again, very short history here, you guys, and a very new company or new player on the scene in terms of cannabis-infused beverages. So that's why in my last video, I said I really do feel like you're getting in at the ground floor with this one. The share price has been beaten up over the last couple of months. They've got a ton of growth ahead of them, and I really do feel like the value proposition is quite compelling for this company compared to some of the competitors. And with that being said, now I wanted to shift gears and jump into the 3 pieces of news that have come out since our last video. So number 1 here, you guys, this came out November 24th, so a ton of activity in terms of news releases here from the team at MLCL. It goes on to read, MLCL Holdings announces Canajo or Canajo, the first coffee-flavored cannabis beverage to hit the market here in Canada. So this is a look at the product here. You can see it comes in hazelnut oat latte. That's the light can. The dark can is espresso spice. And again, I think this is going to be a game changer for MLCL. If you think about the number of people who consume coffee or caffeinated beverages, and you multiply that by the market for the THC or CBD infused beverages, I think the market potential here, or the TAM, is really going to be quite sizable. And I think there's going to be a big audience for this type of drink. Now, if we jump back to the press release, you can see MLCL, a Canadian craft-focused cannabis beverage production company, is pleased to announce its newest lineup of products under the brand name Canajo. This new exciting lineup will feature a family of coffee-inspired flavors with an assortment of THC and CBD levels designed for the widest variety of cannabis users. The Canajo brand will appeal to the experienced consumer seeking 10 milligram dose of THC and to those who are wellness-focused and choose higher levels of CBD with lower THC. Canajo is expected to launch early in the new year, although as we're going to talk about in our last news release here today, I think we will start to see sales of this product in the month of December here. Now, as I mentioned, MLCL is the first cannabis licensed beverage manufacturer in Canada to enter the coffee-flavored beverage market with a dedicated line of products. So this really talks about the expansion of their in-house brands. Again, we're going to take a look at those in a little bit more detail here, but this really does bolster their portfolio of products or the number of SKUs they have available. The Coffee Association of Canada states that coffee is consumed by 71% of Canadians. So again, huge TAM here, you guys. 7 in 10 adults consume coffee on a regular basis. Including infused cannabis is a great way to attract new consumers or customers to one of the hottest beverage categories in the country. Now, David Reingold, who's the CEO of MLCL, went on to comment, "We're very excited to be entering this important category. These products look to be one of the first of their kind to hit Canadian recreational cannabis stores. The lineup developed includes multiple SKUs in a variety of formats, so again, expanding that SKU count. Some of the first flavors are going to be that nitro-infused oat milk latte, which we just looked at. That's the light can with 2 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD, so a more CBD-focused product. The espresso spice is going to be higher THC, so 10 milligrams of THC. It's very exciting to MLCL to bring forward this important innovation. Our beverage team did an amazing job in creating such a great lineup of products. That really comes from that beverage science team, which we talked about in detail in the last video. And as a reminder, that's headed up by the chief food scientist, Rebecca Griffin, who has a ton of history and experience in the creation of beverages or different flavor profiles within drinks. And David concludes by saying it's a testament to their ability to deliver innovation against our plan to expand our reach in the category. So huge news for the company here, you guys. New products, new SKUs coming to market, and first mover advantage in the coffee or caffeinated beverage space here in Canada. Now, the second piece of news that we're going to cover in today's video actually came out on December 1st. Again, this has to do with their in-house brands here, you guys. But instead of Canajo, we're now going to be talking about their Fresh brand. So in the news release, you can see Fresh Strawberry Kiwi receives high ranking on Ontario cannabis stores. We're going to look at the ranking here on the next slide, but this is super important because they've really tried to differentiate these products. They've come in at a much lower price point than some of the competitors in this space, and they're really starting to see a lot of traction in the biggest cannabis market here in Canada, in the province of Ontario. Now, one thing that's important to keep in mind here is Fresh actually only launched this product in July of 2021, so it's only been around about 6 months here, you guys. Fresh Strawberry Kiwi is a sugar-free beverage. It's 10 milligrams of THC, so it's sitting on the higher end of things in terms of THC infusion. And the strawberry kiwi flavor has actually been awarded a top 3 spot on the OCS based on the strong performance they've seen in this SKU. So in the 3 months ending November 30th, the beverage has experienced store penetration of 36%. It's achieved a rank of top 4 on the OCS based on individual unit sales, and the strawberry kiwi offering has also achieved top 2 status if you're only looking at the 10 milligram online unit sales. Now, in addition to that, Fresh Strawberry Kiwi has actually been awarded a top 3 rank if you look at all the private retail outlets in the province of Ontario. So regardless of how you slice this, if you're just looking at the 10 milligram segment, if you're looking at the OCS overall, or if you're looking at private retailers, the Fresh product, specifically strawberry kiwi flavor, has been performing extremely well, and the team at MLCL is looking to build on this momentum as they introduce new brands, new flavors, new SKUs into the new year. Now again, the CEO, David, comes in, gives his thoughts. We are very proud of the progress Fresh has made against Ontario's fastest selling drinks in such a short period of time. So again, very new company, very new products here. Our store teams are focused on increasing store penetration and continuing to drive momentum and performance in the market. And that's the ripple effect or the impact we're seeing of that national sales and marketing team that we talked about on the timeline a couple of seconds ago. The Fresh brand is the only single SKU branded product in the top selling category, whereby the majority of its competitors have had significantly more time in the market. Now we're going to look at the list of competitors in a second here, but you'll notice these are big, long-running, established companies or competitors in the space. Fresh is driving sales through the nostalgic and classic flavor combinations at an affordable price point. So again, take note of the price here, you guys, significantly below those competitors, or for people who are just simply curious about the effects of cannabis-infused beverages. So they're really trying to target and market this product for people who are new to the drink category. Maybe they go in or online to these stores, they pick up various other products that they're more familiar with, and this is going to be a purchase that they try out or that they tack onto their order for curiosity's sake. Now, David concludes by saying the innovation we have planned to expand the Fresh footprint with new flavors and profiles is also very extensive. We expect additional Fresh launches into the market into early 2022. Now, if we jump back over to the investor presentation, here's a case study on the success of Fresh. On the right here, you can see some of the new flavors that they have planned. So mango peach, blue raspberry, summer punch. And in addition to the new flavors, they're actually looking at introducing new concepts or formats, which are going to be called Fresh Strains and Fresh Soda. Now in the bottom right, you can see some of the new products around Klon and Canajo, which we just talked about. And in addition to that, you can see some of the expanding distribution, Quebec, BC, and Alberta. Specifically in this video, we're going to talk about BC, and that's actually going to be next up here. And before we get into that article, I did want to jump over to the Headset website. You can actually go on here and select the various different cannabis categories and the various different provinces. So if you're ever curious about how well edibles are doing in Alberta or capsules are doing in Ontario, whatever the case is, this is a great website to really track the performance of brands or companies that you're looking to invest in. But if we pull up beverages in the province of Ontario, because that's what we were just referring to in that last article, you can see the number 3 spot here, Fresh Cannabis Beverages, Strawberry Kiwi Carbonated Beverage. And again, what I wanted to call your attention to here is the actual price point. So the average selling price is under $7. It comes in at $6.57 compared to any of the other ones in the top four. Take note, these are all from XMG brand, but they're all selling for over $9.20 per unit. And I should note, XMG is actually sold by Trust Beverages, and Trust is actually a joint venture or partnership between Hexo and Molson Coors. So these are some of the biggest players in the beverage and cannabis space. And MLCL, with their strawberry kiwi fresh, is actually going head to head with some of these industry giants. So that's what I'm talking about here, you guys. They're brand new to the scene, and they're now competing with some of the heavyweights in this category. So now that we've talked about some of the big developments with MLCL's in-house brands, I wanted to finish out today's video by talking about some advancements they've made on the distribution front, specifically within the province of British Columbia. So this news just came out, and it talks about MLCL announcing it has received a multi-SKU purchase order from the province of BC or British Columbia. And what's so exciting about this news is this order is actually already being completed and ready for shipment, and is expected to land in stores for the holiday season. And on top of that, it's going to include the newly announced Canajo Espresso Spice, which is a 10 milligram THC drink we just talked about in our first news release in today's video. And that's exactly why I say we may start to see some sales of the Canajo brand in the month of December or in 2021, which is actually a little bit ahead of schedule compared to that first press release we talked about today. This order marks another significant milestone for MLCL in its goal to become a national provider of cannabis-infused beverages. The BC cannabis market is rich in cannabis tradition. BC is really known for cannabis cultivation. It's got a long history with this plant or product, and it's the perfect stepping stone to build additional brand loyalty and sales volume. Now, once again, CEO David Reingold comes in. We've been working on entering into the BC market for some time and are thrilled with Tiago and his team for securing these new points of distribution. Again, the impact of this national sales and marketing team. BC provides MLCL with great opportunity, potential of hundreds of additional retail outlets, along with access to the BC Cannabis Store online. So very similar to the OCS in Ontario. To support the market, we will focus on additional store penetration efforts to drive volume and store count. So very similar with what we're seeing in the province of Ontario, but on the other side of Canada. And with that being said, we're going to jump back over to the investor presentation to close out today's video. 3 huge pieces of news from the team at MLCL here. Again, I have initiated a position, and this is a company I'm super excited about moving forward. Now, to close things out, I wanted to bring up this chart on the comparables or some of the competition in this space. We looked at this in our last video as well, but I really wanted to draw your attention to the enterprise value column here, because you can see the average for this group, you guys, is over $2 billion. We talked about Hexo, their partnership with Molson Coors, and the Trust products. We've talked about the Valens Company extensively on this channel. Canopy Growth, one of the industry giants here. BevCanna Enterprises, obviously a major player. But if you look at the enterprise value or even the market cap of some of these competitors, it really is quite astonishing that MLCL is starting to enter the same discussion based on the size of this company and the length of time they've been in the market. So again, market cap under $10 million, enterprise value as of November 17th at 7.2 million Canadian, and an enterprise value to 2021 revenue ratio of about 6.5. So very compelling here, you guys. Again, I think a buying opportunity has presented itself if you're looking for exposure into this rapidly growing space within the Canadian cannabis market. Now, with that being said, before I let you go, make sure you hit the like button here, you guys. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions about MLCL you'd like me to address in our next video, feel free to leave them in the comments section below. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, make sure you do so before you head out today. Now, with that being said, thanks so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.